Good morning, everyone. This is Greg from the Department of Labor. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Today we're going to go over just some recaps from the last couple weeks, where we are with some of the stimulus packages as far as the CARES Act signed by the President. We're going to go over a few questions that were submitted over the week and some additional information that we have received since last time we talked. So one of the more popular questions this week, people were asking about the federal pandemic unemployment compensation, otherwise known as FPUC. People were asking, am I going to be getting the $600? Will it be paid retroactively? As many of you may be aware, the first payment and retroactive payments have been sent out. This occurred this past Friday on May 1st. Like I said, the first set went out on Friday, and then a program was run to retroactively pay the people who have been filing. First week they were eligible would have been for the week ending April 4th. We continue to get emails and phone calls, people asking, did I get it? Did I get it? Our advice is to visit www.filectdoi.com. Click on the green button so you'll be able to check your payment history. You should be able to do that every day, and just so that you can make sure that your payment either went out or if there were any issues with a particular week or payment. Another question this week we received a lot about was the PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. As we said on the website, it's still in the final stages of completion and should be going live shortly. There will be a link that will direct you to the proper area to file for this particular program. The final stimulus payment package we're going to talk about right now is the 13-week extension, PEUC, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation. We're in the process of completing this program, and it should be rolled out very shortly as well. If you are eligible for this, you will be notified, we believe, by mail with directions on how to file, and it will tell you if you are eligible. You would need to follow any directions that are sent in order to process those claims. And just as a reminder for anybody who would be filing for the 13-week extension, in order to qualify for this 13-week extension, you cannot have any other unemployment eligibility in Connecticut or any other state you may have worked in. So even if you're entitled to a rate in a neighboring state, you have to file with that state first, because you would not be eligible for the 13-week extension. You are required to file for regular unemployment first, whether it is in the state of Connecticut or any other state that you had worked in. Some of the questions that we received from you all, we had gone through. A lot of them had asked about PUA or the FPUC, and we were happy to say that those are getting close to being completed. As I said earlier, the $600 stimulus payment per week is currently being attached to the weekly unemployment payments that you're receiving, as well as the retro payments. Again, anything concerning any of these stimulus payments, you want to refer to the frequently asked questions on Department of Labor's website. Another question this week we have been receiving, and there seems to be some confusion on, is I was let go, temporarily shut down from my part-time employer. However, I am still employed from my full-time employer. Am I eligible for unemployment? Unemployment is for people who are totally or partially unemployed. And what that means is that if you are working a full-time job, you are not eligible to collect unemployment. If you are working 40 hours, your employer hasn't cut you back, even though you may have lost a part-time job or two. If you are employed full-time, as stated, by the state of Connecticut Department of Labor, as considered fully employed, you are not eligible. So some of the confusion was that people thought and felt that I lost part of my income because of my part-time job. If you are employed full-time, you are not eligible to file for unemployment. Another question this week and again, this is a recap from last week, but we definitely have been getting a lot of questions and concerns about the debit cards. We can't stress enough, if you have the ability to use direct deposit, it is a quicker access to your payments. Please use the direct deposit as your method of payment. KeyBank continues to process debit cards at a very high volume. However, it does take them time to get them processed, created, and sent out. So if you have your direct deposit set up and your payment is released on a Monday, you would get that payment in 2 days, which would be Wednesday. Again, depending on how your bank processes their transactions. Going along with the similar subject, do unemployment benefits via direct deposit happen on the same day every week? Once a payment is processed and the payment method is direct deposit, it takes 2 days, depending on the bank, to get to your account. For example, as I stated before, if you file your weekly claim, let's say on a Sunday, the money should be in your account by Tuesday. If you file on a Thursday, for example, the money should be in your account on that Monday, Friday the first day, and Monday the second day because of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Some banks may process their transactions on Saturday, but as a rule of thumb, it would take 2 business days, the first one being a Friday, and the second one being that Monday. We received some questions concerning about taxes. Is PUA taxable, and will I get the $600 if I qualify for the pandemic unemployment assistance? Is PUA taxable? Yes, it is. And if I qualify, will I get the $600 as well? And yes, you will. Someone asked a question about the 13-week extension. Will weekly benefits be paid retroactively to our last paid week after April 4th, or be paid on a going forward basis? Once the extension goes live, it will be paid retroactively, and the first week that would be payable would be the Saturday, April 4th. We received a few questions about how are you supposed to get help with unemployment if no one is answering the phones or answering emails? The Department of Labor has many different avenues to have your question answered. We understand with the large volume of people who are filing and have multiple questions, we are getting to them in the order they were received. We have a phone bank, and that information can be found on the table of contents, frequently asked questions, under unemployment insurance filing questions. The question asks, how can I contact the Department of Labor for questions related to my claim? It gives you the Online Assistance Center, which gives you an email address of the website is filectui.com, as we mentioned earlier, and you can submit your general questions to dol.webhelp@ct.gov. And again, due to large volume, we have additional staff, not only on that email box, but other email boxes throughout the agencies for specific questions. Our American Job Centers are closed to in-person visits, but you may also call. There's two numbers listed, 860-263-6975 or 203-455-2653, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. A lot of questions again this week, and we'll try to address concerning some of the hold reasons. You know, we're getting a lot of what's a 30 hold, what's a 35 hold, what's a 108 hold. For example, a 30 hold is there is an issue pending a determination. Maybe your claim hasn't been fully processed. Something needed to be fixed on it, which some of our units will review and release those monetary determinations. It may take a day or two to get those released. We also have that you may have filed a weekly continued claim, may have answered a question incorrectly. We have people going in there and reviewing those. If we need to contact you, we do by the phone number you provided to us, or we respond to the email asking you for additional information. Any issue you may have concerning the holds on your claims, you can go to the Online Assistance Center that is up on the page on the screen right now, and you may submit your general questions to the dol.webhelp email box. Let's see, final question we have here is I'm having an issue with my KeyBank debit card. The number, if you're having any issues with the debit card, you're having issues accessing it, it's locked up, there was some, you received an email saying that there's a problem, you need to contact them. On the screen, you can see the phone number of 866-295-2955. That is the number you need to call with any of your KeyBank issues. The Department of Labor cannot go into anybody's account and fix any of the accounts as far as, any holds that may be on it. That is the number that you need to reach out to. They should be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So now I'm going to talk about a subject that our Benefit Payment Control Unit's been getting a lot of emails and questions about, and that's concerning potential for overpayments and people who receive benefits that they said that they may not have been entitled to, or their employer has decided that, whether it was through a CARES Act loan, small business loan, or that the employer decided after many of their employees had filed, decided to pay them for those back weeks. So one of the questions we received was, I was on a shutdown, I filed for unemployment, however, my employer decided to pay me for those weeks. What can I do? First thing is, what we're advising is just you go to CTDOL.com, and I'll bring up that website a lot, and the reason that I do is because a lot of the information that we have is on that page. The page is used not only for filing your initial unemployment claim, but it's also with the blue and green buttons, it allows you to check your payment history and so forth. That is one of the most visited pages, if not the most visited page we have. The information is updated so it is right in front for you to see. Right at the bottom of that page in black lettering, right above the blue and the green button, it says, I filed a claim for unemployment because of a temporary shutdown due to COVID-19. If you click on the click here button, this link will take you to a web page that allows you to request a cancellation of the entire unemployment claim that you filed for during the COVID-19 situation. This request tells our Benefit Payment Control Unit that you want to cancel the whole claim and that you will pay back the money. lot of people thought, I'm going to collect unemployment for a few weeks and go back to work. All of a sudden, a few weeks after that, the employer decided to pay you. You just want to pay back the money and go back to work. We understand that. There are many of you that were in that situation and currently are in that situation. This is a web page you want to use if you want to cancel your entire claim. If you wish to keep your claim open, however, but you just want to report wages for the weeks you received pay for part-time hours worked, please use the quick links below for overpayment assistance and complete the box. And I'll wait till we get to that page so you can see what it is. It says at the top of the page, right under the Benefit Payment Control Unit address, to ask questions about your unemployment and receive an email, click here. As we scroll down the page, you're going to see a question that says, I would like to report an overpayment of unemployment benefits I received. Please include hours worked, the gross wages, and that's before the taxes come out, dates of employment, and employer's name and address. Once that information is submitted to us in the Benefit Payment Control Unit, the issue will be reviewed. If we need additional information, we will reach out to you. But once the information comes in, we have all the information, we will process an overpayment and mail it out to you. Each overpayment is different. Some carry a penalty, some don't, depending on what the situation is. That'll be reviewed and mailed out to you. It'll be mailed through U.S. Postal Service, and it'll be a letter explaining to you what the overpayment is. A question came up again this week. I want to pay the money back, but I don't know how or where to send it. Many people have said they just want to give the money back because they don't want to file for unemployment. So as we had gone through, you're going to go to filectdoi.com and quick click Overpayments and Penalties. This page gives you details on repayment process, which includes credit card payment. The Benefit Payment Control Unit will review the case, process the potential overpayment, and apply the money to your account once the overpayment is established. And we can't stress this part enough. If you want to pay back your money that you receive from us, all repayments must include taxes that were taken out. Once payment goes out and you've requested that taxes be sent to the IRS or the DRS, the Department of Labor cannot get that money back. You will be able to apply for that or put that on your taxes for next year. So after taxes, if you received $100 and your actual payment was for $120, let's say, you need to pay us back the full $120 and not just the part that you received. And once you pay the payment back, you need to send us back everything received. That would include the regular unemployment as well as any money from the stimulus package. So those are the questions we have this week as far as some of the questions that came in this week. I'm going to turn the webinar over to Terry, who's going to discuss some employer information with you.
Hi, this is Terry. Just as directing to employers that are employers in the state of Connecticut, outside of Connecticut, that employ individuals in the state of Connecticut. If the employers are receiving notices of potential liability because they've laid off their employees due to the COVID-19, they do not have to return this document to the Department of Labor. If it's a lack of work, just keep the document in for your files. if you receive notices of potential liability because on an individual that worked for you, say in the fourth quarter of 18, first quarter 19, second quarter 19, this is because they're filing unemployment. You have the right to protest that document by checking the appropriate box at the bottom: voluntary quit, discharge, refuse to return to work, still employed, part-time, sign it, and return it to us. Now, if you receive one where the employee is currently working for you full-time, like Greg had said previously, they should not be receiving unemployment. So in the employer comment section, you should write that the individual is employed full-time currently. And you may want to speak to that person and advise them that they shouldn't be filing, and you can give them the link that they could invalidate their claim. But as long as you return the document, we will notify our benefit payment control unit, and if they are working full-time for you and not reporting the earnings, then they will receive a letter that they're overpaid. We do have an email address that you can return the notices of potential liability to. We do have a fax number. Our fax number and machine is running 24/7. So the best time to send something in to us is probably after 8 p.m. at night, weekends, or before 6 a.m. in the morning. I can guarantee the machine is running. We are receiving between 2,500, 3,000, maybe 4,000 protests a day. It is running. So, but if you want to send it to our email, and our email address is on the frequently asked questions. It's DOL.meritrating, and that's MERITRATING @ct.gov. But this email address is only for employers that have questions in regards to liability, taxes, protests. We cannot assist you if you're asking us to help your employee receive unemployment. We can no longer do that. We're receiving over between 200 and 300 emails a day. We can only answer questions for employers. And again, not for employers that are asking us to release payments or why isn't my employee being paid. We can no longer do that. If you're now starting to have employees return to work and they're saying, no, I don't want to return because I can make more on unemployment. Or, no, I don't want to return because I need to be home with my children. Or, no, I just don't feel comfortable returning to work, I want to collect. The employers should be notifying us immediately. We would need the claimant's full name, full Social Security number, the date you call this person back to work, and the reason if they refuse as to why. You can again send a list to the email address I had just provided, or you can return the notice of potential liability, checking box C as in cat, putting the date you call the person back to work, and in the comment section you can write why they refused. Their unemployment will then have to be looked into, whether or not they're eligible for continued unemployment payments. A hearing will be scheduled and a decision will be made. But in order to collect unemployment, someone must be able and available for full-time work. So if they refuse, there's a good chance they could be denied unemployment, and depending on the circumstances between you and them, they may be out of employment. So I would advise you to notify us right away as soon as they refuse, and a hearing will be scheduled. That's basically all the information I have at this time. I'm going to go over again the PUA applications, which I'm getting from employers, will be posted to our website later this week. They should continue to watch our website for the information and the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Again, we just wanted to make sure that we were able to get to some of the more frequent questions we had during the week, as well as wanted to update everyone on the stimulus payment package that the President had signed a few weeks back. So that is the webinar for this week. We want to thank everybody who has attended. We appreciate your patience, and that understand that we here at the Department of Labor are trying to get through to as many customers as possible and to answer your questions as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great week.